ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतदि सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी मम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादि पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि और भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 18, verse 11. दृष्ट्वादितिस्तं निजगर्भसम्भवं परं पुमां समुदम् आपविस्मिता गृहीतदेहं निजयोगमायया प्रजापतिश्चाह जयेति विस्मितः. When Aditi saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead who had appeared from her own womb, having accepted a transcendental body by his own spiritual potency, she was struck with wonder and was very happy. Mudam, Vismita, Mudam, both. Vismita, she was astonished, and Mudam, she felt great happiness. Upon seeing the child, Prajapati Kashyapa exclaimed, Jai, Jai, glories, glories, in great happiness and wonder. So this is Aishwarya, Aishwarya Bhava. So great happiness and wonder. Mm. यत्तद्वपुर्भाति विभूषणायुधैर् अव्यक्तचिद्व्यक्तमधारयद् धरिः बभूव तेनैव स वामनो वटुः सम्पश्यतोर्दिव्यगतिर्यथा नटः. Yattad the transcendental body. Bhati. Bhati means look like or manifested. Vibhushana ayudher, with regular ornaments and weapons. The Lord appeared in his original form with ornaments and weapons in his hands. Although this ever existing form is not visible in the material world, he nonetheless appeared in this form. Then, in the presence of his father and mother, Vamana Vatuhu, he assumed the form of Vamana, a brahmachari dwarf, a brahmana dwarf, just like a theatrical actor. So, short form. Dwarf means short. Hmm. So, he assumed a form of Vamana. So, it's called Vamana. Vamana Vatu. Vamana means dwarf. And his name is also Vamana. So, Lord appeared in his original form and he transformed himself. The word Nataha is significant. An actor changes dress to play different parts, but is always the same man. Similarly, as described in the Brahma Samhita, the Lord assumes many thousands and millions of forms. Advaitam achyutam anadim ananta rupam adyam purana purusham navayavvanam cha. Is always present with innumerable incarnations. Ramadimurtishu kalani amena tishtan nanavataram akarod bhuvaneshu kintu. Nonetheless, although he appears in various incarnations, they are not different from one another. So it's always difficult to understand it. He's the same person, but he has different forms, different moods, different devotees, and different rasas, but he's the same person. He's the same person with the same potency, the same eternity, same spiritual existence, but he simultaneously assumes various forms. But also the potency he displays also is same, but so potency is same, but he doesn't display all of them. When Vamana Deva appeared from the womb of his mother, he appeared in the form of Narayana with four hands, equipped with necessary symbolic weapons, and then immediately transformed himself into a Vatu, Brahmachari. This means that his body is not material, it is spiritual. One who thinks that the Supreme Lord assumes a material body is not intelligent. He has to learn more about the Lord's position. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam, evam yo veti tattvataha. In truth, as it is, we have to understand Krishna. It's easy to understand Krishna, but at the same time, it's difficult to understand. We've been talking about this. One has to understand the transcendental appearance of the Lord in his original transcendental body, Sachidananda Vigraha. Hmm. So, and again, whenever we try to think about understanding the Lord in truth, uh, always what bewilders us is his Vrindavan pastimes. Krishna's opulence is somewhat not very difficult to understand, to comprehend. Okay, he's a supreme Lord, so he has so much of power, he has so much of strength, he's all pervasive, he can do whatever he wants. Hmm? But then when it comes to his Vrindavan pastimes, it's very, very inconceivable. The supreme controller becomes controlled. Supreme powerful becomes powerless. Mm. One who doesn't experience pain experiences pain. So it becomes inconceivable. Uh, mm, one who is Atma Rama, he expects happiness from his devotees. So he becomes contrary to his original mood of Parameshwara. So he becomes subservient. Krishna becomes subservient while he is the master all the time, but he willingly becomes like a servant of his devotee. And the topmost devotee being Srimati Radharani. Krishna is so much subservient to Radharani that Krishna cannot sleep till Radharani sleeps. He cannot sleep. So there's one instance where all the queens of, actually all the gopis, finally, this is after the 100 years of curse, right? That Sridham would have given Radha that you will be separated from Krishna for 100 years. So after that 100 years, suddenly Radharani is inspired to go to a place called as Siddhashrama. So she hears from one of her Sakhis that this place Siddhashrama ensures that any devotee who goes there and does austerities, etc., that devotee will definitely get Krishna. So she hears like that. And so suddenly she decides, okay, we are all going to Siddhashrama. And then that Siddhashrama is near Dwarka. So they go to Dwarka and then from there go to Siddhashrama. And all the queens of Dwarka also come there. And then there's very nice description about the beauty and supreme beauty of Radharani and how the other queens who are also extremely beautiful and have all good qualities look like stars in front of, very bright moon. Um, and then actually all the queens then realize actually that they are so insignificant in front of Radharani. And then, okay, they all retire to their tents to take rest. And Rukmini Devi goes to see Krishna, whether Krishna has taken rest or not. And then she sees that he is awake. And then he tells, Rukmini asking that, Lord, why, how is it that you're not gone to sleep? So then Krishna says, because Radharani has not slept, so I'm not able to get sleep. And then she asks him that, what is the reason why Radharani has not slept? And then Krishna says that normally she doesn't sleep. She drinks milk before sleeping. Because she has not been given milk, she is finding it difficult to sleep. One thing that came to my mind when I heard this saying that it's not that Radharani told somebody saying that, yeah, get me milk. She didn't say that. So she's just like, she's just trying to sleep, but she's not getting sleep. But Krishna is aware. Krishna is not getting sleep. So he tells Rukmini Devi. Suddenly, Rukmini Devi runs and, prepares milk and, whatever needs to be put into that and takes it to Radharani. And Radharani very happily accepts it. And then Rukmini Devi comes back. Now, when Rukmini Devi comes back, then Krishna's feet has blisters, boils. Suddenly, it was not there just before. So Rukmini Devi is like very surprised. She asks Krishna, "What happened to your lotus feet? How come there are so many blisters?" Then Krishna says that the milk that you gave Radharani was so hot and that it has caused blisters on my feet. And it was so hot, still Radharani took it. She didn't say a word. So, like this, like Krishna's existence depends on Radharani. So it's inconceivable. We cannot just simply understand this. And every time we hear something like this, it just, bewilders us. What is the love of Radharani? Inconceivable. And then, mundane people who have no understanding of the supreme position of Radharani speak nonsense about her. She's such an exalted devotee that Krishna's really every aspect of his existence depends on her. So she's so exalted. So, yeah, the Supreme Lord becomes like a servant. Mm. तं वटुं वामनं दृष्ट्वा मोदमाना महर्षयः कर्माणि कारयामासुः पुरस्कृत्य प्रजापतिम्. When the great sages saw the Lord as the Brahmachari dwarf Vamana, they were certainly very pleased. Thus they placed before them Kashyapa Muni, the Prajapati, and performed all the ritualistic ceremonies such as the birthday ceremony. So the great sages were there. They did they started the samskaras that were required. According to Vedic civilization, when a child is born in the family of a Brahmana, the birthday ceremony known as Jata Karma is first performed, and then other ceremonies are also gradually performed. But when this Vamana Rupa appeared in the form of a Vatu, his sacred thread ceremony was also performed immediately because he appeared as a Brahmana. And generally, birthday ceremony happens, birth ceremony, Jata Karma. But then there also Upanayana also happened because he was born as a Vatu. तस्योपनीयमानस्य सावित्रीं सविता ब्रवीत् बृहस्पतिर्ब्रह्मसूत्रं मेखलां कश्यपो ददात्. This is not an ordinary child. So at his Upanayana, the time when the sacred thread was being offered to Vamanadev, Sun God personally uttered the Gayatri Mantra. Normally, Gayatri Mantra is uttered by the father in the ear of the Vatu. But such exalted personality, so instead of Kashyapa Muni doing that, the sun god Savita, he utters the Gayatri Mantra. Brahaspati offers the sacred thread, and Kashyapa Muni offered a straw belt, which is required, which they used to tie their like dhoti types around their waist. Mm. ददौ कृष्णाजिनं भूमिर्दण्डं सोमो वनस्पतिः कोऽपि नाच्छादनं माता द्यौश्चत्रं जगतपतेः. Then Mother Earth gave him a deer skin, demigod of the moon, who is the king of the forest, gave him a Brahma Danda, the rod of a brahmachari. His mother Aditi gave him cloth for underwear, which is called Kopina. And the deity presiding over the heavenly kingdom offered him an umbrella. Now, these are all the things that he requires for being a Vatu and doing his functions. No? Kamandalum Vedagarbha Kushan Saptarshayo Daduhu Akshamalam Maharaja Saraswatyavayatmanaha. O King, Lord Brahma offered a water pot to the inexhaustible Supreme Person of Godhead. The seven sages offered him kusha grass and Mother Saraswati gave him a string of Rudraksha beads. I don't know why the Rudraksha was given, but yeah. Tasma iti upanitaya yaksharat patrikam adat viksham bhagavati sakshad unmadadambika sati. When Vamanadev had thus been given the sacred thread, Kuvera, the king of Yakshas, gave him a pot for begging alms, and Mother Bhagavati, the wife of Lord Shiva, and most chaste mother of the entire universe, gave him his first alms. Hmm. स ब्रह्मवर्चसेनैवं सभां सम्भावितो वटुः ब्रह्मर्षि गणसंजुष्टाम् अत्यरोचत मारिषः. Having thus been welcomed by everyone, Lord Vamanadeva, the best of the brahmacharis, exhibited his Brahman effulgence. Thus he surpassed in beauty that entire assembly, which was filled with great saintly brahmanas. So great brahmanas were there, but his effulgence surpassed. Mm, his beauty also surpassed. Samidham mahitam vahnim kritva parisamuhanam paris paristirya samabhyarchya samidbhir ajuhodvijaha. After Lord Sri Vamana Deva set a sacrificial fire, he offered worship and performed a fire sacrifice on the sacrificial field. श्रुत्वाश्वमेधैर्यजमानमूर्जितं बलिं भृगूणामुपकल्पितैस्ततः जगाम तत्राखिलसारसंवृतो भारेण गां सन्नमयन् पदे पदे. When the Lord heard that Bali Maharaj was performing Ashwamedha sacrifices under the patronage of Brahmanas belonging to the Bhrigu dynasty, the Supreme Lord, who is full in every respect, proceeded there to show his mercy to Bali Maharaj. By his weight, he pushed down the earth with every step. Small Brahmana Vatu. He is walking, and by his weight, he is pushing down the earth with every step. And Bali Maharaj was doing Ashwamedha sacrifices. But more importantly, it was being done under the direction of some Brahmanas belonging to the Bhrigu dynasty. So this place is called Brugukach, which is today called Bharuch. So there is the lotus feet of Lord Vamanadev even there, even today there. But of course, it was not maintained well from 4 or 5 years back, and then there was some discussion about rejuvenating the temple, etc. Not sure what happened. So that is a place where Vamanadev appeared. I mean, Bali Maharaj was doing his Ashwamedha sacrifice, and Vamanadev came there. The Supreme Person of Godhead is Akhila Sara Samvrita. In other words, he is the proprietor of everything essential in this material world. Thus, although the Lord was going to Bali Maharaj to beg something, he is always complete and has nothing to beg from anyone. Indeed, he is so powerful that in his full opulence, he pressed down the surface of the earth at every step. So, the Lord was going to Bali Maharaj to beg. Although he is always complete and has nothing to beg, he went to beg. This is Krishna's supreme position. He is Purnamada Purnamadam Purnat Purnamadachate. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. He is always Purna. And he is so powerful. Still he is going to beg. He is so powerful that in his full opulence he pressed down the surface of the earth. But still he is going to beg something from Bali Maharaj. Tam Narmadayastata Uttare Baler Yad Ritvijaste Bhrugu Kacha Sangnake Pravartayanto Bhrugava Krita Kratuttamam Vyachakshatarad Uditam Yatharavim. While engaged in performing the sacrifice in the field known as Bhrigu Kacha, on the northern bank of the Narmada river, the Brahminical priests, the descendants of Bhrigu, saw Vamanadev to be like the sun rising nearby. Now, the descendants of Bhrigu Muni would have been also very exalted sages, exalted Brahmanas with Brahma Tejas. But when they saw Vamanadev, it almost looked like the sun was rising nearby. So much of Tejas, Supreme Lord's Brahmajyoti, he manifested it, and everybody is seeing it. ते ऋत्विजो यजमानः सदास्य हतः त्विषो वामन तेजसा नृप सूर्यः किलायात्युत वा विभावसुः सनत्कुमारोऽथ दिदृक्षया क्रतोः. O king, because of Vamana Deva's bright effulgence, the priests, along with Bali Maharaj and all the members of the assembly, were robbed of their splendor. Hmm. It looked like their splendor vanished. Hmm. Thus they began to ask one another whether the sun god himself, Sanat Kumara, or the fire god had personally come to see the sacrificial ceremony. So they're wondering, who is this person? Hmm. इत्थं शशिष्येषु भृगुष्वनेकदा वितर्क्यमाणो भगवान् स वामनः छत्रं सदण्डं सजलं कमण्डलुं विवेश बिभ्रद् धयमेधवाटम्. While the priests of the Bhrigu dynasty and their disciples talked and argued in various ways, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vamana Deva, holding in his hands the rod, the umbrella, and a water pot full of water, entered the arena of the Ashwamedha sacrifice. So it's almost like a movie. Step by step, they're describing so nicely. मौञ्जा मेखलया वीतम् उपवीताजिनोत्तरम् जटिलं वामनं विप्रं मायामाणवकं हरिं प्रविष्टं वीक्ष्य भृगवः सशिष्यास्ते सहाग्निभिः प्रत्यगृह्णन् समुत्थाय संक्षिप्तास्तस्य तेजसा. Appearing as a Brahmana boy wearing a belt of straw, a sacred thread, an upper garment of deer skin, and matted locks of hair, Lord Vamanadeva entered the arena of sacrifice. His brilliant effulgence diminished the brilliance of all the priests and their disciples, who thus stood from their seats and welcomed the Lord properly by offering obeisances. Yajamana pramudita darshaniyam manoramam रूपानुरूपा vayayam vayavam tasma asanamaharat. Bali Maharaj, jubilant at seeing Lord Vamanadeva, whose beautiful limbs contributed equally to the beauty of his entire body, offered him a seat with great satisfaction. So Bali Maharaj, he was pramuditaha, very, very jubilant, happy. Darshaniyam, was worthy of seeing. And the Lord was Darshaniyam, he was worthy of seeing. He was Manoramam, beautiful. So that he saw him and he was very, very happy. He became very jubilant. Swagatenabhinandyatha pado bhagavato balihi avanijyarchayamasa mukta sangam manoramam. Thus offering a proper reception to the Supreme Person of Godhead, who is always beautiful to the liberated souls, Bali Maharaj worshipped him by washing his lotus feet. So this is the etiquette whenever exalted personalities come. Then one has to worship their lotus feet as the first activity, first thing. As soon as they come, first wash their lotus feet. Tatpada shaucham janakalmashapaham sadharmavin murdnya dadhat sumangalam yaddeva devo girishas chandramaulir dadhara murdna paraya cha bhaktya. Lord Shiva, the best of demigods, who carries on his forehead the emblem of the moon, receives on his head with great devotion the Ganges water emanating from the toe of Vishnu. Mm. Being aware of religious principles, Bali Maharaj knew this. Consequently, following in the footsteps of Lord Shiva, he also placed on his head the water that had washed the Lord's lotus feet. Uh, so, remembering that Lord Shiva also places the water which has touched the lotus feet of the Lord, which is Ganga Devi, Bali Maharaj also placed that washed water on his head. Lord Shiva is known as Gangadhara, one who carries the water of the Ganges on his head. On Lord Shiva's forehead is the emblem of the half moon. Yet to give supreme respect to the supreme person of Godhead, Lord Shiva placed the water of the Ganges above this emblem. This example should be followed by everyone, or at least by every devotee, because Lord Shiva is one of the Mahajanas. Similarly, Maharaja Bali also later became a Mahajana. One Mahajana follows another Mahajana, and by following the Parampara system of Mahajana activities, one can become advanced in spiritual consciousness. The water of the Ganges is sanctified because it emanates from the toe of Lord Vishnu. Bali Maharaja washed the lotus feet of Vamana Dev, and the water with which he did so became equal to the Ganges. Bali Maharaj, who perfectly knew all religious principles, therefore took that water on his head, following in the footsteps of Lord Shiva. Of course, the Charanamrita also has the same potency, that the water which has washed the lotus feet of the Lord, uh, it also has the same potency. So we should very respectfully honor Charanamrit. Shri Balaruvacha Swagatam te namastubhyam brahman kim karavamate brahmarshīnām tapassakshan manye tvarya vapurdharam. So he's happy. Bali Maharaj then said to Lord Vaman, "Oh Brahmana, I offer you my hearty welcome and my respectful obeisances. Please let us know what we may do for you. We think of you as the personified austerity of the great Brahmana sages. Brahmarshinam tapas sakshan. You are sakshat tapa of the Brahmarshis. So how can we serve you? Adyanna pitarasthrupta adyanna pavitam kulam adyasvishta kratur ayam yadbhavan agato grihan. O my Lord, because you have kindly arrived at our home, all my forefathers are satisfied. Our family and entire dynasty have been satisfied. And the sacrifice we are performing is now complete because of your presence. And this is the, see, Bali Maharaj in this whole description now, he is not looking at Vamana Dev as the Supreme Lord. He is just respecting an exalted Brahmana. This was Vedic culture. So he's saying, because you have arrived at our home, all our forefathers are satisfied, our family, entire dynasty have been sanctified, sanctified, and our sacrifice is complete because of your presence. अभ्याग्नयो मे सुहुता यथा विधि द्विजात्मजः त्वच्चरणावने जनैः हतां हसो वार्भिर्यं च भूरहो तथा पुनीता तनुभिः पदैस्तव. O son of a Brahmana, today the fire of sacrifice is ablaze according to the injunction of the Shastra, and I have been freed from all the sinful reactions of my life by the water that has washed your lotus feet. Now, this is true. O my Lord, by the touch of your small lotus feet, the entire surface of the world has been sanctified. So, washing lotus feet of an exalted Brahmana, Vaishnava, and so this is considered as one of the three very powerful things that can give us Krishna. The water that has washed the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, then the dust of the lotus feet of the Vaishnava, and also his Uchishta. Oh my Lord, by the touch of your small lotus feet, the entire surface of the world has been sanctified. So whenever we read this, we will always think in terms of the Brahmana being the Lord, but Bali is still speaking, considering him as an exalted personality. यद्यत्पठो वाञ्छसि तत्प्रतीच्च मे त्वामर्थिनं विप्रसुतानुत्तर्कये गां काञ्चनं गुणवद् धाममृष्टं तथान्न पेयम् उत वा विप्रकन्यां ग्रामान् समृद्धां स्तुरगान् गजान् वा रथांस्तथार्हत्तम सम्प्रतितीच्छ. O son of a Brahmana, it appears that you have come here to ask me for something. Therefore, whatever you want, you may take from me. O best of those who are worshipable, you may take from me a cow, gold, a furnished house, palatable food and drink, the daughter of a Brahmana for your wife, prosperous villages, horses, elephants, chariots, or whatever you desire. So Bali Maharaj is doing his duty as a Kshatriya and a Grihastha. So he's offering everything. He's saying any of these or anything that you might desire, you may please ask. Thus end the 18th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Lord Vamanadev, the dwarf incarnation. Okay, so we will stop here. We will do chapter 19 tomorrow. If there are any questions, comments, otherwise I can leave. Anybody, any comments, questions? Okay, nothing much. Thank you all for joining. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। पांच